Alright guys, it's Aaron and Mike here from Team Endgame, bringing you a deck breakdown of my Shadow Paladin deck. The deck in question is actually based on the Phantom Blaster Overlord build.
Which you should have seen earlier in the week.
Cross-riding all the time.
Yep.
Anyway, so I'll get started and we'll start the Grade Zeros. So my starting Vanguard is full bow, because you've basically only got that. Or the 6k one. I like full bow, he looks cool.
Yeah, but the point being is you don't...
I'll get to that, get to that, mister.
Okay.
Other than that, my trigger lineup is pretty standard. 4 draw, 8 crit, and 4 heal. I could use the stand trigger, but I don't know why I'd do that, because I really don't think stands work very well in this build at all. For my grade 1 lineup, I run what you see here, the 8k beat stick, 4 of the Aaron Hods, the rest discard draw, sorry.
Aaron Hood.
Yes, Aaron Hood. 4 perfect guards, and for the random text is 2 Nightmare Painter. Now, the first thing you'll notice is I don't run Blaster Javelin. That's mainly because personally I do not see the point in running Blaster Javelin or Blaster Dark. I don't run him in my grade 2 lineup either. That's my personal choice, but it's because at the end of the day I feel that the aim of the deck is to get off the cross ride, and using the grade 1s and 2s to try and search that out like through the ride chain, I just think it's a waste of space and I'd rather use it elsewhere. So going back to what I actually run, the 8k beat sticks are pretty standard. Aaron Hod is basically the replacement for Javelin. If I ride it first turn, I discard, draw, sort out my hand a bit. If I don't have a full column, I just play it as a rear guard, discard, something I don't want, draw, so I'm not wasting an attack. And Nightmare Painter is... I've only rated 2 because it's pretty weak, but at the end of the day, it's there for when I ride Overlord first, and then I can use that to put in the original Phantom Blaster into the soul, so I've got the cross ride off without riding the first Overlord first, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Yep. The other choices are Apocalypse Bat, which you can Soul Blast when it boosts a Blaster to give it 6k, so it's a 10k booster. Now, that would make... If I don't get the cross ride off, it makes 21 columns with Overlord, or I can do 20 columns with Phantom Blaster. But I'd rather just set up a Sharon behind my Vanguard at all times for when I do get the cross ride off, because I usually get it off nearly enough every game, unless I get double crit early.
Yeah,
right,
so,
Mike? Right?
Yeah. So basically your build is what I personally see Shadow Paladins as well. You get the cross ride off, and then you keep a hand advantage up using...
Yes, that's basically it, which you'll see in the grade 2s.
So it's not a power beat sticky build. It
is, because it's the idea of getting 21 in the middle, and then 20 at the side, or 16 at the side, sometimes 11.
Doesn't really mean a lot with a 11k Vanguard.
And the other grade 1 that I may have used is Garuru Bow. Garuru Bow!
Yep.
But, again, it's just a lack of space, really. I'd rather have the consistency around Hod compared to Garuru Bow. I kind of need Nightmare Painter so that I've got the option to get in the cross ride early as well. Moving on to grade 2s, which are kind of like one of my favourite parts of this deck. You've got 4 Masquerade, which is your 12k swinger. 4 Nemain, which is Counterblast 1, discard a Shadow Paladin to draw 2 cards. And then 3 Maca, so I can search out my Sharons early game and late game, so I've got my nice column set up. Now my favourite bit about this is Nemain. I'll talk about it now, I guess, but basically I discard any unwanted grade 3s that I don't really need in my hands. So I plus myself through guard by playing her, and then discard the grade 3 to get 2 cards. Any 2 cards, don't matter what they are, I'm adding guard to my hand, and it just builds my hand up to guard next turn. Now, as I said before, I don't run the Blaster Dark because I just feel it's pointless. As a rear guard, he's just 9. I have to ride him at Vanguard to get the effect off when I have 2 counterblasts, which
you wouldn't use anyway.
I rarely do. I'd rather use Maca to search out my deck.
The reason you run 3 Maca over 4 Nemain is also because of the heavy counterblasting.
Yeah, pretty much, because Nemain's so cheap. It's just 1 counterblast, discard, draw, draw, discard, draw, draw. My hand just explodes, and the amount of times I've decked out using the effects, but it's so fun to play. Another choice, I could take out Maca for Vaha, which is your Carrara clone, Counterblast 2 to draw, but I'd rather search out a specific booster than draw an unknown card most of the time. Curse Lancer is your damage on Flipper. I don't really need to. At the end of the day, I get majority of the mains off, 1 or 2 Machas, sort my field out, and I never go for the Persona Blast, so I'm not worried about that. And then there's the 10k Swinger, but because Masquerade's hitting my 20k columns, the main's just there to fill up the field for a turn and then intercept, and then Macha hits 16s most of the time. I don't need the 10k. And grade 3s, as you'd expect, would be 4 Phantom Blaster Overlord and 4 Phantom Blaster Dragon. Basically, if I get the Phantom Blaster Dragon first, I'll ride that, and then keep drawing and searching through my deck until I get Overlord and Cross Ride. The odd time that I get Overlord first, I don't care about looking for the Cross Ride, I just ride Overlord, and then as soon as I find myself one of the Nightmare Painters, put that into Soul, got the Cross Ride off artificially. If I don't have the mains active, I'll have Aaron to discard any unwanted grade 3s. But most of the time I tend to try and wait for the main, that way that I get the most out of it, because I'm drawing 2 cards rather than the 1. I still get an attack, I've got Intercept left. I think that's pretty much it. There are other grade 3s available, but because it's the Phantom Blaster Overlord build, there's no room to actually use them. Yeah, so pretty much that's my focus. So I mean, the other options are really like your 9k one that calls the top card, which is good.
I really like that, but there's no room for it in this. In your build.
In this build, there's no room, and the chances are just it's the same with like Varha over Macha. Drawing an unknown card compared to getting something that you want. It's like calling an unknown card. It could be a trigger, could be a grade 3. You just don't know what it is. It's just going to mess up the synergy of your field and your deck. Okay guys, that was my deck breakdown for Shadow Paladins. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to this video, and check out our Facebook page where we'll be involving you in some small polls and discussions in the upcoming future. We're also going to be taking requests from now on, so hopefully we can bring you any card fights and deck checks that you want us to do. Just leave a comment in the comment section below. The only ones that we can't do at the moment are Aquaforce and Narukami, because we're still missing quite a few of the key cards, unfortunately.
Not my fault.
I didn't say it was. So yeah, if you can just leave a comment of what clans you'd like to see and what builds preferably, and then we can hopefully get that sorted out for you guys.
Or any breakdowns you'd like
done
as well.
If you want a breakdown done, what we'd usually like to do is do a card fight of that first, so you can see it in action, and then we'll do the breakdown for you. So you'll have a little sense of how it works again in play as well as in theory. Okay, and we'll see you guys later.